Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto content, and today we're going to be talking about Hedera Hashgraph, or HBAR if you will. But before we jump into that, I just want to talk to you guys a little bit about Bitcoin. Obviously, we are at a little bit of a standstill at that 37.3 to about 38K zone. I mentioned that we could see 33.5K on Bitcoin sometime this week. Wouldn't be surprised if we do see that. Now, if that does happen, definitely watch out for some good buys on Hedera Hashgraph, because no matter what we see happening with HBAR, it will still follow Bitcoin as well. So it sucks to say, but it is what it is. Now, we do see that the entire market is kind of following it, as a lot of things are turning red, as Bitcoin does turn red. Now, if we come down here, we do see that HBAR is still making some decent moves. It is currently at about 20 cents overall. I'm not going to get too excited until we get to 23 cents, like I said, guys. But we do see that we are still up about almost 3%, as well as 26% on the 7-day moving average. So that's pretty nice to see overall. Now, obviously, where has these moves been coming from? Well, basically, this partnership did help move it a little bit, but we were moving even before this. But this is very nice to see. We do see combining Hedera and Filecoin delivers a truly decentralized NFT experience. Filecoin, acting as a decentralized storage layer for NFTs on the Hedera network, ensures a maximum amount of trust for in-game assets, art, music, supply chain, and financial apps. So this is very interesting to see. Obviously, I don't know too much about Filecoin, but I did mention it back in February before we did take off to about like $240. Now, this is awesome to see, though. Nonetheless, we do see grant program to propel Web3 interoperability as well. So this is obviously going to further that advancement as well. But we do see that NFT marketplace or experience is really ramping up on Hedera, which I love to see, because we've already discussed how huge the NFT market is, but we're going to also talk about some news regarding that later on in this video as well. So I think that this is great for Filecoin, but also even HBAR. Even if we come down here, so Filecoin is actually still pretty down. It's down about almost 8%. It's currently sitting at about $47. The current all-time high is about $240, I want to say, so $237, so pretty close. Now this one, like I said, I mentioned it back in February, it was sitting at about $20. So this one's nice. I mean, it's a decent project. I just don't know the full deep dive on it, so I can't really recommend it's a good buy right now. But if we do look at the all-time high compared to where it's at now, I mean, it looks pretty good, especially considering this partnership, because I love anything that's kind of tied to HBAR, especially if it is going to further Web3, and also a lot of these other things that we do see growing on the Hedera mainnet anyways. But I also want to talk to you guys a little bit about this. So obviously we know that Amazon, basically, they were never going to accept Bitcoin or crypto overall. If you really look at it, it's the idea that, like, when you talk about the idea of utilizing Bitcoin for transaction currency, it doesn't seem to work out efficiently if you think about it. So say I wanted to buy something for $10 on Amazon and I use Bitcoin, and all of a sudden the transaction fee is like over $10. I'm basically just throwing away free money at that point. Like, I could just pay with my card and have no fee pretty much charged. So I think that Bitcoin was never going to be utilized like that. But we do know that Hedera Hashgraph could definitely be utilized in this way. We even see here the payments, acceptance, and experience team is seeking an experienced product leader to develop Amazon's digital currency and blockchain strategy. Now, this is actually from Amazon themselves, so this is realistic. This is real. Them accepting Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash and Ethereum payments, though, that was all false. But we do see Amazon processes billions of transactions, as we do know, so they need high security, speed, finality, i.e. Hedera Hashgraph, which I do. We've discussed this a little bit on my channel, not too much, but I did say that a lot of these e-commerce websites, for an example, like even Shopify, right? Like on my poster website, not to like, plug or anything like that. I'm just saying, on my, poster website, I actually accept cryptocurrency payments, but you can't accept Hedera Hashgraph payments just yet. That would be exciting when we can do that. I mean, I do see that happening in the future, because when we're talking about very low cost fees and scalability for transactions, Hedera Hashgraph is like the #1 choice. We already know that it's the most used DLT because of those reasons as well. That is the #1 reason why when we do see these massive amounts of transactions moving over Hedera, a lot of people are like, well, why isn't the price moving? Well, it's simple, because of the transaction fee is so low for these billions of transactions moving over the network to not really, make an impact on the price just yet. But when we're processing billions and billions and billions of transactions a single day or even a week, that's where the true value becomes unlocked, though. So I think Amazon and a lot of these e-commerce websites could definitely prosper from utilizing Hedera and efficiently scale as well. So I think that's like, it's pretty much the #1 choice for a lot of these e-commerce websites. But we also see here, now talking about NFTs, we do see what do Leonardo da Vinci, Vincent van Gogh, Claude Monet, and Giorgione, I actually never heard of this artist, to be completely honest with you, have in common besides being elite artists. Well, their masterpieces will now be auctioned through Binance's NFT marketplace. Wow, isn't that interesting? So NFTs, like I said, have been growing a lot in demand and also popularity. A lot of people thought and speculated that NFTs would be basically gone by now, but I do think that this is going to grow a lot more. Even if we come over to Coin Marketplace and we go to Decentraland. So Mana is basically an NFT marketplace, but it's also like a game where you could sell all of your assets in the game as NFTs. So this is really cool as well. This actually has been performing very well. I also mentioned this back in February as well, when we were at like about 20 cents, almost 30 cents. This was a gem in the making even back then, but I also said, NFTs, with how they're growing, this was going to be a great buy. And like I said, it was. And this is the definition of where NFTs are going to be going, right? We're seeing even the idea of utilizing the Oasis from Ready Player One. And they already said that that could be built on Hedera Hashgraph. So if we actually get to that point of implementing these massive amounts of virtual reality or augmented reality video games where we do see massive NFT marketplaces being built in them, that will pretty much provide anyone who's pretty much playing the game residual income inside of the game for opening like a marketplace. That would be incredible, because we already kind of see that with popular video games like, for example, Minecraft. Like, people could open a marketplace on like servers and stuff. So I think that that is actually a pretty big marketplace, and even Hedera themselves are even saying, in-game assets, which are NFTs as well. So I think that that is also very interesting to see. Now, I also want to talk to you guys about CBDCs. So very big news regarding CBDCs. Now, this is the live discussion. Funny note about this is the fact that MTech themselves actually retweeted this tweet talking about CBDCs, as we do see here. And I actually posted this in my Discord and said, wow, what a coincidence that, MTech would basically be retweeting this. Obviously, it is talking about CBDCs and crypto payments as well. But we do see here, when asked about the core reasons for implementing a CBDC, Yaya, I don't know, to be honest. I'm not going to try to pronounce their name because I'm probably going to butcher it, said, faster and cheaper payments. Robert M. Baldwin gave the example of micropayments and music producers getting paid for each stream of their music. I'm convinced some of these witnesses are HBAR variants. I definitely do agree. I think at some point in time, a lot of the stuff with CBDCs and utility cases and use cases overall are going to lead back to the HBAR variants and also just Hedera Hashgraph themselves, because when we're talking about Hedera and we're talking about HBAR, I know that the prices don't really reflect it overall, because we're still under 23 cents. We can't break 23 cents. We can't get to those nice high targets that everybody wants to see. We're not sitting at $1 or anything like that. I get it. I totally understand, and trust me, I know it sucks, but Hedera Hashgraph being the most utilized DLT in this, pretty much entire scene, with a very low, I would say the supply is actually pretty low for what it's going to basically be utilized for. Like, a lot of people think that 50 billion is a lot in terms of supply, but they actually need that amount of supply at some point in time for what it's going to basically be utilized for. It's similar to XRP, how a lot of people think that the 100 billion total coins is a lot, but they actually need that to provide liquidity to their ODL customers. I think that at some point in time is going to basically be the same rule book for Hedera Hashgraph themselves as to power also the network too. So I think the supply is not going to really matter at some point in time. Now I do also want to talk to you guys about one last thing, and then I'm going to wrap the video up. So this is Lehman Bear talking about 1 trillion transactions per second. Now, I'm not going to play this because I believe that I will get copyrighted, but we can kind of skip a little bit ahead, and he is talking about 1 trillion transactions per second at some point in time with sharding. So I've talked about how big that implementation is for the network. A lot of people can't wrap their heads around how big Hedera Hashgraph is actually going to be. Like we're still very much so in infancy stages for HBAR. So it is hard to predict what price range we will end up at the end of the year, because there's still a lot more to actually come this year, as we are still marching into August and we still have until December at least. And if we do run as far as most people are going to be saying, like I said, we could even run until the summer of 2022. The price range for HBAR is kind of endless, if you will, because we could see double-digit plus figures that could range up to who knows where. So what matters is utility cases and what's actually going to be happening with implementations on the Hedera mainnet. But I will say this, I don't think that we're going to be looking at 20 cents too much longer very soon. I think at some point in time we will have a significant change in the value for HBAR. But even right now, for a 24-hour period, we're only seeing $222 million in volume, which is nothing. So we're still very early on HBAR. Anybody who's accumulating under 20 cents, trust me, you're going to make it. Even when we see this, right, the rest of the crypto universe has no idea what is about to hit them. When Hedera Hashgraph ramps up transactions per second to extreme levels, the investors and operators of lesser cryptos will know that they cannot compete. This is when they lay down to die. And I do agree, like DLTs, like there's no comparison with HBAR. I even tried to compare like ADA. A lot of the ADA shillers come out of nowhere because they obviously believe in Charles and his, hopium, if you will. When we talk about these projects, Hedera Hashgraph is delivering on everything that they say, and I pretty much put my trust behind the team at Hedera because they just have a reputable overall resume, if you will. So I think at some point in time, these prices that we're seeing will pretty much be the past. They will be history in the making, if you will. I'm very excited for the future, as we do see a lot more innovation happening. We're seeing CBDC talks as well. We are seeing regulations coming into the space. Very bullish for a lot of these assets that are very regulated. For an example, Hedera Hashgraph is one of the most regulated assets in the space that are very compliant with the SEC and the overall rules that they do comply with. So I'm very excited. Let me know if you guys are excited. If you guys are excited about Hedera Hashgraph, sorry, leave a like and also comment down below what you're so excited about. For me personally, I'm more excited for CBDCs ramping up transactions per second and seeing the value truly be unlocked on the Hedera mainnet. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you guys do want more free content, you guys can follow me on Twitter, and you guys could also join the free Discord down in the description below. I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out.